We're going to begin with some postural stretches before we start our cardio burst. Grab your heaviest loop band and your heaviest Theraband, bringing the loop band around the thighs and the Theraband around the back, wrapping from the knuckles from the ends of the band, palms facing in towards one another. Now, if you have back issues, keep your pelvis neutral. So that's the position between tucking and arching the back. If you don't, tuck your pelvis. I want you to hinge back, creating a diagonal from the knees out through the crown of the head with the chin retracted. Hold it here. Inhale, one, breathe. Exhale, one, abs are in. Inhale, brace the abs, coming back up to a tall spine. Again, inhale, brace the abs. We're going to hinge back, holding it back. Inhale, one, breathe. Exhale, one. Inhale, pull the abs in. Hear your exhale, coming back upright. Again, keep reinforcing the proper pelvic position. That diagonal is from the knees out through the crown of the head. The shins should be pressing into the floor. At the tops of the feet are pressing into the floor. The chest is reaching for that band. The reason we have that band behind us is to remind us to close the rib cage so that we can really use the upper back and the abs here. This is a very difficult, active stretch for people with kyphotic lordotic or lordotic posture. So don't get frustrated. If you feel knee discomfort, you can always cushion the knees with extra mats. But if you're distributing your weight evenly and pulling in with your abs, you shouldn't feel knee pain. It should be stretching the top of the knees, the quadriceps. Finish up your last one, and we'll take that equipment off, setting it to the side, coming up to stand. Take your dominant arm up in the air, grabbing that wrist with the opposite hand. Same leg as your dominant arm goes behind you. Soft bend in the knees. Push the pelvis forward, keeping your neutral pelvis if you have back issues, tucking if you don't. Side bending away from that dominant side. Hold it here. Inhale, one, breathe. Exhale. So we're really deepening into this stretch as we push the pelvis forward, maintaining the proper pelvic position for our body. We are opening up the hip flexors, a posturally tight area. We're also opening up the side body. We're working on our chin retraction here to engage the neck flexors, keeping the shoulders plugged down the back. Deep breaths. On your next exhale, bring the body upright and go ahead and switch positions, grabbing the non-dominant wrist, taking the non-dominant, what may be your dominant leg, but the same leg as the non-dominant arm behind you, and side bending, pressing the pelvis forward without tucking it under if you have back issues. Feel free to tuck it under if you don't. Intensifying the stretch in your hip flexors. Make sure the baby toes are really active. The feet. All metatarsals are connected to the floor. The knees are soft and tracking over the second and third metatarsal. So second and third are the toes beside your big toe. That's where you really want that knee to track. Couple more breaths. And your next exhale will bring the body upright. We're going to learn our exercises. So our first exercise, you are going to need your lightest Theraband, and then we'll also need our heaviest loop band around our thighs. So we're working in the transverse plane, and the exercise entails hamstring curls. So 8 of them to turn. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then staying low, we have the arms, the elbows in by the side of the body. We do leg reaches parallel for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Notice as I do the hamstring curls, I'm dorsiflexing my feet and I'm holding my arms up in our serratus anterior hold to engage the shoulder blade anchor. Wrists are flat, elbows are as high as my shoulders. Now, if you don't have knee issues or back issues, you can do hamstring butt kicks, and you can add that hopping. And then when you, instead of the leg reaches, you can do low jacks that are parallel. So 2 different options. I'll be demonstrating both when we begin our cardio burst, but do which variation is best for you. So that's our first exercise in the transverse plane. Our next exercise, we can set all that equipment aside and grab our heaviest Theraband to put around our back, moving into serve the platter arms, thinking about the chest reaching for the back of that band so we close the rib cage. We're going to do a 12 count grapevine, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to sit back into a sumo squat, holding here. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1, knees tracking over the second, third metatarsals, baby's toes heavy, abs engaged. Inhale, brace them, and exhale, lift up. Begin the grapevine again. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sitting low in your squat, brace your abs. Let me hear your exhale. Hold, inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1, chest reaching for that band behind you. Brace the abs and exhale, stand up. So this is our exercise in the frontal plane. Our final exercise, we need our heaviest loop band around our thighs. And we are going to take our dominant hand and put it behind our head. We're going to do 4. The other arm will stay right by the side of the body with 4 pitched kicks going forward for 4. 3, flex the foot that's kicking back. 2, 1, try to maintain the neutral pelvis. If you have back issues, bring the legs together. 4, side bends on our non-dominant arm side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Repeat, going back for 4, 3, 2, 1. And side bending, 4, 3, 2, 1. So notice we're only doing our non-dominant side for the lateral flexion, and those kickbacks engage the hamstrings, the abs, the glutes. All right, now that we've learned all the exercises, we're going to keep that heaviest loop band around the thighs, and we're going to grab the lightest Theraband coming back into our serratus anterior position for our first exercise we learned in the transverse plane. That was the hamstring curls to turn for 8 and the parallel leg reaches with the elbows by the side of the body, or the butt kick runs 8 to turn and the jacks in place staying low. Counting you in. 3, 2, 1. 100% effort. I want you to give it all you got. This is for your heart health. This is to rebalance the feet and ankles, to improve agility and enhance sports performance, alleviate pain. Make sure you're doing the variation that's best for you. I'll be alternating, demonstrating the low impact variation and the one that has a little bit more impact, but also can be great if you don't have knee or back issues to elevate the heart rate even more. Whatever variation you're doing, just give it 100% effort and check in with the checkpoints. Make sure the baby toes are really pressing into the floor. You're flexing the feet. When you can come back towards the butt, you're trying to pull out on the band hip distance at all times. When you do those leg reaches or jacks, you're not straightening the legs. You're staying low with a bend in the knees. The knees are tracking over the second and third metatarsal. Counting you down. 3, 2, 1. Take your break. Grab a sip of water, but just don't sit down. We want to let the heart rate come to resting, but we don't want to really lower the heart rate because we're going to spike it up again with our second set in the transverse plane. So the turning plane, where we do a quarter turn, is where 90% of injuries occur. And this is in sports performance as well as everyday life. People rolling their ankles, breaking hips. So it's really important that you practice moving through the transverse plane in good form. So do think about your feet as you're working, remembering to press into the baby toes, to flex the feet when you kick your butt, to pull your abs in, to reach the chest back towards the shoulder blades. Let's set up for our second set in the transverse plane, counting you in. 3, 2, 1. 100% effort. Give it all you got. Cardio bursting is excellent for your heart health and stress management. This is for your health long term. Check in with your checkpoints. Remember the 2 variations. You should be selecting the one that's best for your body. If you have any chronic back issues or knee issues, please do not do the jacks or the butt kicks. I want to keep you safe and out of pain. As you work through YouniquelyFit's postural training and move up in the levels, eventually you will be able to add jumping because you will have conditioned the transverse abdominis and your posturally weak muscles will be strong enough to support proper movement patterns. You're doing great. Wherever you are, I'm going to count you down. Keep going, 100% effort. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your break. So in level 1 and level 2, we get 1-minute recoveries. Once we move to level 3 and 4, the recoveries are cut down to 45 seconds. And when we get to level 5 and 6, they'll only be 30 seconds. So the rate at which the heart can drop to resting and then be spiked to a high level, we're going to improve the ability for the heart to lower and then elevate. This is crucial for helping with managing stress. So reminding you of our next exercise, we have our grapevine holding the serve the platter arms. The grapevine's a 12 count. And then you're going to set up for a sumo squat. Feet are parallel with subtle external rotation. And you sit back, putting pressure into the baby toes, making sure the chest is reaching for that band so that we engage the upper back to support the movement and we brace the abs at the bottom. All right, counting you in. 3, 2, 1. Give it all you got. 12 count grapevine, stay low, add the twisting to engage the TVA more. When you set up for your sumo squat, I want to hear your as you go down into it, holding at the bottom. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Brace the abs before you stand back up, moving back into that low grapevine on a 12 count. Keep your chin retracted, your chest reaching back towards your shoulder blades, collarbone wide, your gaze is eye level. I know how difficult these deep sumo squats are. If you're feeling knee discomfort, you can decrease the range of motion, but also think about what's happening. Are you really putting pressure into the baby toes? Are you really pulling in and up on the muscles that stop your stream of pee and bracing the abs, reaching the chest towards that band behind your shoulder blades, counting you down. 3, 2, 1. Take your break. So we have one more set in the frontal plane, traveling side to side. You're doing excellent work. Grab a sip of water. If anything is bothering you, take a stretch. Perhaps if you have a little knee twinge, you could dorsiflex your foot and do a quad stretch. We're going to go into flexibility after this, so you're going to get a full 12 minutes of flexibility for all the posturally tight areas to release. But right now, if you are feeling any discomfort, just go ahead and take a stretch of your choice. Try not to sit down though. We want to condition the heart, and when you sit down, it really lowers the heart rate. All right, setting up for our second set in the frontal plane, counting you in. 3, 2, 1. 100% effort. Sumo squats are very hard for people with lordosis and kyphotic lordotic posture. I have this heavy band behind you to remind you to bring the chest back towards the shoulder blades, thinking about the chest moving towards that band. That's going to help you find your upper back extensors and not recruit the pecs in front of the shoulders. Your 12 count grapevine is meant to be low, so make sure you're not straightening your legs every time you do it. Knees are tracking over the second and third metatarsals. You're using your baby toes. When you lower down, you're holding that sumo squat for 2 breaths. Try to not pitch the body forward too much. Reach the chest back towards that Theraband that's behind your shoulder blades. Keep the shoulders plugged down the back. Baby toes active, chin retracted to work the neck flexors. Hear your exhales when you lift up out of that squat and when you lower down. I want your abs engaged, pulling them in towards the spine, counting you down. 3, 2, 1. Take your break. Grab a sip of water. Just don't sit down. Take a stretch of your choice if you need to. I'm going to remind you now of our final exercise in the sagittal plane. We have our heaviest loop band around our thighs. We're going to take our dominant hand behind our head and our non-dominant hand by the side of the body, palm facing in. Dorsiflexing our feet, keeping our legs hip distance. As we travel forward, we'll do 4 pitched back kicks. The position is warrior 3, but you're driving the heel back. Keep the neutral pelvis. Brace the abs. At the top, we'll do 4 lateral flexions with the chin retracted. And then we'll begin again. Same thing. So don't change the arms. We're just going to focus on the non-dominant side. All right. Let's get set up. Counting you in. 3, 2, 1. 100% effort. Give it all you've got. I want you to get nice and sweaty and really feel the benefits of this workout. So when you're working at 100% effort, you're still thinking about those checkpoints, the baby toes being active, the knees tracking over the second and third metatarsal, the belly being in towards the spine, lifting in and up on those muscles that stop the stream of pee. Remember that band we had behind our back in the frontal plane exercise? Guide the chest back towards it to really engage the upper back extensors on your lateral flexion. Watch out for the jetting chin. Keep it retracted. Collarbone wide, shoulders plugged down the back. Doing excellent work. Keep breathing. Give it all you got. Drive those heels back. Kick backs. Counting you down. 3, 2, 1. Take your break. Grab a sip of water. Take a stretch of your choice. Just don't sit down. We've got one more burst in the sagittal plane before we move into flexibility work. I encourage you, if you just decided to take the cardio burst today, to do a little stretching. The flexibility is only 12 minutes, the postural flexibility for people with back issues or people who do not have any back issues. And it's meant to take you to the next level. You can't just do strength training and just do cardio. You do have to incorporate flexibility. All right. We've got 10 seconds here. Getting set up, getting ready, thinking about what you're about to do, counting you in. 3, 2, 1. Last set. Give it all you got. 4 kickbacks, lateral flexion with the feet together at the top. Make sure you don't lock the knees or knock the knees in at the top. Soft bend in the knees tracking over the second and third metatarsal. I have the hand behind your head for a reason, so that you can feel your head leaning back into it so the back of the neck is long and the front of the neck can work and engage. It's a very underactive area, and we often have chronic neck pain because the neck flexors are not working hard enough. Think about your chest. Is your chest reaching towards your back body to engage the upper back and turn off those overactive pecs and anterior delts? The arm by your side eventually will be loaded as you progress in level. So having no weight here is a luxury right now, just working on form. Make sure the abs are pulled in with every kick. Neutral pelvis. Counting you down. 3, 2, 1. Great work.